Hi everybody. Hope everybody is fine during this lockdown time by the grace of God. Today I welcome you to the online class, and today I am going to teach you 10th class 13th chapter, that is National Liberation Movements in the Colonies. So what is the meaning of this term national? National is countrywide. And liberation, that is freedom, for the sake of freedom. Movement are the revolts and revolutionary movements, are the protest which was done by the people in order to get freedom. What is the meaning of the term colonies? Colonies are the place, our country, our area which was ruled by another country, partially or fully. Example, the best example is India. India was the colony of Britain. So you may be getting a doubt, why we need to study national liberation movement of colonies, different colonies? What is the main reason? The reason is, first thing is, we need to know why they were made as colonies. We need to analyze why countries came under colonial rule, which countries made colonies, and why. For these reasons, to know the answer for these reasons, again we have to go back to the 9th syllabus, recap our past memories. That is, industrialization and social changes we came across. In the 13th chapter, we have learned that industrialization, the term industrialization, the meaning is use of machinery, that too new machinery, and technology to produce large scale goods and service in a short time. So here, most of the developed countries we came to know, that is, this industrialization, according to the historians, it was told that industrialization exactly started in the country named called Britain. And they say that this industrialization exactly started between 1780s and 1850s. And they say that Britain was the country where industrialization first started. And we also learned that Britain is considered to be as the workshop of the world, and from here industrialization started to spread, the usage of machinery started to spread to different countries of the world. So these, like taking the example, coming back to the same example, India and the Britain. India was made as the colony of Britain. So these people, British in the Britain, they were, it was best suited for the industrial production, a good climate, political system was stable, everything was supporting them, easy transportation, cheap labor, cheap raw material, everything was available. So they were able to produce large scale goods and service in a short time. So when they were producing large scale goods, they found short of raw material. Raw material was not available. So now the big question for the industrialized, well-developed countries was to get the raw material. From where they will get the raw material. So in order to get the raw material, they spend lot of money for the sea sailors, one who go for the on the sea journey, like Sindbad the sailor, how we have studied in the comics and all. In the history we came to know Vasco da Gama made a sea voyage to India. Yes, Amerigo Vespucci, then Magellan. These are all are the world famous sea voyagers. So like that, every country in the Europe, every country started to spend lots and lots of money to send the sea voyages to distant places, to search for a country or a place where they could get the exotic raw material and the things which is required for the industries. So these sea voyages, they went on, and then finally they collected the information, what are the things they have found in the different countries. They wrote it in the book, came back to the country, met their kings, gave the information. Then the cartographers, we have already studied in 8th class, Gerardus Mercator is considered to be as the father of cartography, who makes the map. Like that, every country cartographer started to make the map, and map was created, and finally taking the help of this map, these different European countries, you can see that is Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, Britain, these all countries started to move on to the different countries in order to get the raw material. First, they came and they sold their exotic and raw materials, and then they slowly took in exchange they took it the things which are exotically found in the other countries. And like this, they started exchanging, doing business or the trade, buying and selling they started to do, and they became richer and richer and bought more and more machinery and started to make large scale production. But the problem was raw material. They need to get the raw material. How to get the raw material? So these people, they gave reasons to the kings wherever they went. Like taking the example in India, they came and they came to the seaports like West Bengal, Calicut, Masulipatnam, Nagapatnam, Puducherry. These port cities they came, they took permission from those area kings, settled there, then started to do business, took permission from them and established their industries. And business was going on. Then slowly they interfered. They asked the permission and brought the army also to protect their factories or the production area to protect themselves. And whenever their king, means the area where they established their factories, when they found that they are not safe by the neighboring country or any attack is being made, they used their army to help the host country king. And the king was very impressed, and we have learned in the 7th standard, king got very impressed, and in return for helping, they have given lakh of acres of land. Money also was given to them. So in this way, slowly power came into their hand. And later on, they started defeating the kings, occupying the area and established their power in the India. So like that, different countries of Europe started to establish the power in different countries of the world. Now, as the political power got fixed, now they could put pressure on the ruled country, saying that first thing is they were the monopolist who gave them direction what to be produced in the agriculture. Then other thing is in the mining area also, what are the things they require? They asked them to produce it. So in that way, they have they have made the people to work and finally forced them to sell those products at a cheaper rate. So now they easily got the raw material. Now the problem was to transport. They took all this raw material and even developed the roadways, railways and brought it till the seaport and then easily transported to the homeland. So this became very easy for them to get the raw material. So in this way, now they got the raw material also for their industries. So for the sake of raw material, they have made the colonies. But what happened? The independence of the colonies is being lost. People were discontented. they were not at all satisfied and they suffered a lot. So this is not only about India. In the world, different countries have been ruled. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about different countries. Apart from India, India already we have covered in the 8th syllabus. We have studied in the 9th syllabus. Now, in this chapter, we are going to cover the 3 countries. That is China, then Vietnam and Nigeria. China was made a colony by different countries of the world, not one. But let me tell you first about the Britain. That is, when this colonial expedition was going on all over the world, Chinese have taken maximum steps so that none of the Europeans are coming into the country. They made a strict rules and regulations that they shouldn't enter into the territory, or no tourism, nothing. But there was a problem for economy, that is money. So they made it only one place as a common visit to all the European countries, where they can make trade also. That was Macau, a city in China. That alone was open. So these Britishers, they came to know that Chinese are famous for 2 things. That is silk and tea. These are the exotic raw material of China. And this is the very, very excellent product, very fine product, where they cannot get anywhere else except in China. So they wanted to get this tea and also the silk. So the question was, they were going to that place, they wanted to take silk and the tea, but the question was, Chinese people demanded only gold and silver coins in return. And we are already familiar that Europeans are against this policy. They never spend any money but earn lot of money from the different countries. So their target was anyhow they have to get the silk and tea. For that they hunted for the weakness of Chinese people. And finally they came to know that Chinese people are fond of opium. Opium means drug, narcotics, or what do you say, charas, ganja, mattu padartham, what we call it generally in our colloquial language. So they came to know that is the most weakness of these Chinese people. So already India is a colony for the Britishers, and it was under their control. So Britishers put a pressure on the Indian farmers to produce charas, ganja in the fields. Produced in the Indian fields, collected, packed everything in the boxes and illegally bribed the custom authority in the port city of Macau and illegally smuggled all these charas ganja into the Chinese territory. And in this way, they were selling the opium and getting the money. With that money, they were paying to the Chinese and purchasing the silk and tea. This went on for days together. And the smuggling process went on, going on, increasing and increasing. And finally, when the Chinese people health got affected, government somehow they came to know that the ill health of the people is only because of the opium. And they came to know this opium also is being illegally smuggled into the country only by the Britishers. So they got angry and they collected all the opium and burned it. When they burned it, you know these things are very, very costly. So this hurted the Britishers and this paved the way for the war. And this war is called as the Opium War. So this war went on between 2 countries, that is China and Britain. they waged two wars. Two wars. But these two wars, together, it is called as opium. Sorry. Opium War. And first war, the Chinese were winner. Winners. Britain did not lose their faith. They tried their level best, and again they made an attack on the China for the smuggling of the same, the opium. Then in the second war, Chinese were defeated. Chinese were defeated. And you know, already we have studied in the 12th chapter, whenever any country is getting defeated, they have to pay a penalty. We call it as indemnity. So China also had to pay an indemnity to Britain. To Britain. That is, in penalty, they have to see that they, first thing is, free immunity of loss should be made. That is, no restrictions, nothing, free loss for them. And another thing is, market should be opened for them. And taxes also should be collected very less, or no tax at all, and free movement, and no restrictions. And even also they can maintain the army to protect their areas, places of protection, and have control over China. So in this way, China came under the colonial rule of the Britishers. So China alone did not, means Britain alone did not occupy China. China was occupied by different countries. That is Britain, France, Germany, Russia, different, Japan, so many countries. So wherever these countries have occupied the area, they made their own rules and regulations and put restrictions. Chinese kings continued. Why? Because Britain people, they doesn't know Chinese language. They made the Chinese kings only to continue, but they have to follow the British parliamentary rules. Right? So during this time, Manchu dynasty was ruling. And Manchu, that is, they were ruling, but the Chinese people were not satisfied. Mainly because he has to follow the Western power rules and regulation. He cannot rule normally like before. So people were not satisfied, and they protested. All the people together, whole generation protested, and finally Manchu dynasty came to an end by by 911 AD. 911 AD. So we will see in the next class about how China was ruled, by the how they formed into a republic, how it fell into the warlords, how people have struggled, how they made the parties, political parties, how they struggled for the freedom, and how they got independence. So in this chapter, we are going to have a look over Chinese struggle for the freedom and different political parties, everything. And then apart from China, we are going to learn about Vietnam and Nigeria. So this is only an introductory class, and I want everybody to just answer to few questions. That is, what do you mean by colonies? Then, what do you mean by Opium War? How many wars have taken place? Opium Wars. Which are the two countries which have participated in the Opium War? And which was the last dynasty which ruled over China? These questions you just collect it and write it in a special book. Thank you.